Mediterranean diet. You're sitting at a table in southern Italy. Sun's shining, someone hands you bread, olive oil, a plate of fish, and a glass of wine. Congratulations, you've just met the Mediterranean diet. It's less about rules and more about a vibe. Plants front and center, fish on rotation, meat just a guest star. Scientists rave about it, and here's why. One massive study tracked 25,000 women for decades and found a simple takeaway. Eating Mediterranean style makes you 23% less likely to die early. Another trial showed big drops in heart disease and strokes. Think of your body like a freeway. Inflammation is traffic, bad cholesterol is the closed lanes, and high blood sugar is the potholes. Olive oil smooths the asphalt, veggies patch the cracks, and fish oil keeps traffic flowing. Your heart basically gets the Autobahn treatment. But here's the twist. The Mediterranean diet is often the Instagram filter version. Real Mediterranean plates, white bread, salami, and lots of full-fat cheese. And benefits often show up most in people with the money to actually buy the fresh fish and veggies. So, yes, it works. Just don't confuse the science-backed diet with a touristy food fantasy. Intermittent fasting. Think of your body like a hybrid car. Most of the time it runs on gas. That's glucose. But when you go hours without food, it flips to electric, burning fat through ketones. Different fasting styles just change how often you switch. 16 to 8 time-restricted eating versus alternate day fasting. A 2025 review of 99 trials with over 6,500 people found fasting works about as well as traditional calorie cutting for weight loss and heart health. Alternate day fasting even pulled ahead, with almost 3 pounds more lost. Why? Longer fasts improve insulin sensitivity, lower inflammation, and kickstart cellular cleanup mode, called autophagy. That's when your body recycles broken parts, like taking your car in for a tune-up instead of ignoring the check engine light. But here's the speed bump. A 2024 study linked eating in less than 8-hour windows to a 91% higher risk of cardiovascular death. And many trials show people lose muscle as well as fat. So fasting can recharge your system, but it's not a free upgrade. DASH diet. High blood pressure is basically your body's plumbing system under too much strain. The DASH diet, short for dietary approaches to stop hypertension, is like calling in the best plumber on the block. It swaps out sodium-heavy, greasy foods for fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins, and low-fat dairy. Translation: fewer clogs, smoother flow. In the original DASH trial, people with hypertension dropped their systolic blood pressure, think of it as the water pressure in your pipes, by over 11 points. When paired with cutting salt, the effect was even bigger. Analyses of multiple trials with over 2,500 people confirm the pattern. Lower blood pressure across the board. Why? More potassium acts like a water softener. Better blood vessel function means flexible pipes, and less artery stiffness keeps everything flowing without bursts or leaks. But here's the catch. Fewer than 1 in 5 people with hypertension actually stick to DASH. So DASH works, but only if you actually pay for the most expensive plumber. Ketogenic diet. Your body is like a smartphone. Normally it runs on Wi-Fi, that's carbs. But when carbs drop below 5 to 10% of your diet, the signal cuts out. Your body switches to data mode, fat. That's ketosis. Suddenly, fat becomes the main fuel. The science is impressive. One review found keto burns off visceral fat, the dangerous belly fat, 3 times faster than low-fat diets. In the Hallberg study, 92% of people with diabetes improved, and more than half actually reversed it after 2 years. Ketones, those little fat-fueled molecules, also suppress appetite, improve insulin sensitivity, and keep your body torching fat. Even brain health is on the radar. A 2024 Stanford study showed a 31% improvement in psychiatric symptoms. But here's the plot twist. A 2021 large-scale analysis linked long-term keto to higher risks of heart disease and diabetes. And recent studies found keto might speed up cellular aging, like burning through your phone battery way too fast. Keto works, but staying in strict ketosis? Most people drop it faster than they cancel a bad data plan. Vegan and vegetarian diet. Vegetarian means no meat, poultry, or fish. Vegan takes it further. No animal products at all, not even dairy or eggs. What's left? Anything that grows from a branch or out of the ground like fruits, veggies, grains, and legumes. It's basically turning your plate into a farmer's market. Science says the garden approach works. In a 2023 Stanford twin study, identical twins split into vegan and omnivore groups. After just 8 weeks, the vegan side had lower bad LDL cholesterol. That's the type that clogs arteries. Twins on vegan diets also have better insulin control and about 4 pounds more weight loss. Other studies in type 2 diabetes patients confirm the same pattern. More plants means steadier blood sugar, healthier cholesterol, and easier weight management. Why? Fiber is like compost for your gut bacteria. Antioxidants stop cellular weeds from spreading, and cutting saturated fat keeps your internal soil clean. But even gardens need upkeep. Vegans often miss nutrients like B12, which protects nerves, iron for energy, and omega-3s for brain and heart health. Without them, fatigue, anemia, or brain fog can creep in. And socially, navigating barbecues or wing nights can feel like planting kale in the desert. Flexitarian Diet. This diet is like a relationship status labeled, "It's complicated." You're mostly devoted to plants, vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts, and whole grains, but you still see meat or fish occasionally. Flexitarian eating offers the benefits of plant-based diets without demanding a breakup with animal foods. The science shows this flexible balance works. A 2017 review found flexitarians had lower risk of type 2 diabetes, healthier cholesterol levels, and reduced blood pressure compared to full omnivores. Why? More fiber keeps digestion steady, antioxidants from plants defend your cells, and cutting back on saturated fat takes stress off your heart. But because it's not all or nothing, people tend to stick with it longer than stricter diets. There are downsides, though. Studies suggest flexitarians score higher on restrained eating, a clinical term for constantly monitoring and restricting food. That kind of control can backfire, leading to guilt, stress, or cycles of losing and regaining weight. And with no strict rules, it's easy for the diet to slide into processed, junk vegetarian foods instead of wholesome, plant-based meals. Mind Diet. Think of your brain like a computer. You wouldn't skip updates forever, right? The Mind Diet is basically a nutrition patch designed to keep your mental hardware from glitching. It blends the Mediterranean and DASH diets, but spotlights brain-friendly foods: leafy greens, berries, nuts, whole grains, olive oil, and fish. The results are striking. In the original Rush University study, people following Mind closely cut their Alzheimer's risk by 53%. Even moderate followers had a 35% drop. Translation: installing the update works even if you click "Remind me later" half the time. A 2023 analysis of multiple trials confirmed the trend, linking Mind to lower dementia risk. The science is simple. Antioxidants in berries act like antivirus software. Leafy greens boost blood flow like faster Wi-Fi. And omega-3s in fish keep neurons flexible, like RAM that doesn't freeze mid-click. But not every system runs the same. A 2024 study found benefits vary by gender and race, and a big trial showed only modest cognitive improvements after 3 years. So, yes, worth installing, but don't expect a brand new operating system. Nordic Diet. Picture yourself prepping for a long Scandinavian winter. You'll need sturdy gear, fatty fish for warmth, whole grains like rye and barley for energy, berries for vitamins, and root vegetables that last through the frost. That's the Nordic Diet. Less about fancy imports, more about local survival food. The science gives it credibility. A 2022 study covering over 1 million people found this style linked to lower risks of heart disease, less cardiovascular death, and reduced diabetes. Clinical trials also show drops in LDL cholesterol, along with modest weight loss and lower blood pressure. The magic comes from fiber in grains, omega-3s in fish, and antioxidants in berries, all acting like thermal insulation for your cells. But there are caveats. Research is still young compared to the Mediterranean diet, and results on cholesterol aren't always consistent. Plus, heavy emphasis on fish raises sustainability questions. After all, even in the land of fjords, overfishing can empty the pantry. Weight Watchers. Walk into Weight Watchers, and the first thing you see isn't a list of forbidden foods. It's a scoreboard. Every bite you take racks up points. The trick is staying within your daily budget. That means chocolate cake eats up a big chunk of your allowance, while veggies barely move the counter. The appeal? You can eat anything, but you learn quickly that some choices are luxury items and others are bargain deals. The evidence is solid. A systematic review found Weight Watchers members lost about 2.6% more weight than people not in the program. In the Power Trial, members shed an average of 13 pounds, outperforming more complex therapy plans. Why does it work so well? The points system builds portion control into every meal. Weekly meetings give social accountability, and the app streamlines the math so you don't need a calculator at dinner. Still, critics point out flaws. The points don't always match nutrition quality, so processed snacks can sneak in. And many people regain lost weight after quitting. After all, budgeting only works if you keep paying attention. Gluten-Free Diet. Think Detective Story. There's a hidden suspect: gluten. It lurks in wheat, rye, barley, and sometimes oats, sneaking into bread, pasta, cereals, even sauces. For people with celiac disease, gluten is a repeat offender. Their immune system attacks the small intestine every time gluten shows up, causing damage and nasty symptoms. The fix? Eliminate gluten completely and the body heals. Studies show strict adherence can restore intestinal health, though sticking to the diet ranges from 42% to 80% among patients. It's not just celiac. People with gluten sensitivity or conditions like gluten ataxia, where gluten affects the nervous system, often feel relief going gluten-free. Even some IBS patients benefit, especially if they carry specific genetic markers that make them more reactive. For everyone else, no strong evidence that ditching gluten improves health. The downsides are real. Gluten-free products can cost up to 139% more, and skipping fortified breads often means missing fiber, iron, and B vitamins. Without planning, the diet can swap one villain for another, processed gluten-free junk. If you liked this video and are interested in learning more, check out these other videos.